It's not a strike. And we're live! Hello and welcome to the millionth episode of Us Guys on YouTube, talking about PulseChain. I'm Maddie Allen with ChrispyMan of Hexfire.io and Fast Abdoul. Welcome.
It might be me. It might be me. I may not be AI.
I think you're real. I've seen you in person. I've seen both of you in person. You're real.
Well, in that case, hit the like and subscribe button and share this out because we've got a great episode for you tonight.
Woo.
Woo! Great. What episode? What are we doing?
I missed saying that. I've come back from my hiatus.
Your hiatus. How was your travels? You traveled all over the place.
Yeah, it was awesome. I traveled around the country, trailered the DeLorean, talked a lot about crypto, went to the Bitcoin conference for 5 minutes, chatted up 300 million.
And he's gone.
Okay.
Thank God
Here we are again.
We got rid of that guy. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's always got a plan. He wants to run things.
We were going to have to listen to him talk about his trip.
Yeah, he's
on the marketing. Don't worry, guys. He'll be back. He's back. He's back. He's bringing himself back. Uh-oh.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. Slowly he turned. Step by step. Somebody might have opened the seventh seal or something. I don't know.
That was a good movie. Remember the movie, The Seventh Seal?
Yeah.
It's an old movie.
I would be more technical. Giga Chad. Giga. I gotta do giga. Yeah. This one's an LFD. It's my favorite.
It's a what?
LFD. La Flor Dominica. And it's green screen Maddie.
Yay. With no audio.
And Frozen.
Maybe Frozen.
Or he's really good. Really good at
my Maddie? Nope.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
We're going to run a sacrifice to get Maddie better Wi-Fi. If everyone could please give generously.
Don't even joke. Don't even joke.
It's looking good. Eyes are moving. Do we have a voice?
He's back. He's back. Can we hear him?
I can't hear him, but he's not talking.
Test.
Oh,
test.
Check.
Test.
There we go.
Yeah.
We got some. We got lip movement.
All right. Proof of life.
Yeah. It got to be a memory problem. You know, dementia's like that.
So I'm running this this new camera, the DJI Osmo Pocket Pro, blah blah blah, RH endorsed, and it gives incredible picture quality, but it just dropped off randomly for no reason. So we'll give it one more shot. Otherwise, I don't know if RH is going to give us our money back for recommending it or what, but it's a really incredible camera, and it does really good at capturing stuff too. It's got a built-in gimbal. You guys remember when he posted about it? Maybe a month ago or something.
What's a gimbal? A
gimbal is it's basically a stabilizer, a motorized stabilizer, and the DJI Osmo Pocket Pro 3, it can track faces, and so it gives a really smooth ride. If you're holding it, it'll stabilize the video.
Oh, nice.
It also works as a webcam, which we're using now. It also comes with this microphone. Beautiful. And it can record in portrait or landscape, which the portrait's really important nowadays, now that I've been learning the ropes on how to do Instagram Reels, Facebook Shorts, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, all that jazz.
Oh, that's that new stuff, those Reels and Shorts. Those are new, right?
Yeah, I mean, like in the last 25 years or so, maybe the last 5 years or 2 years, it's the portrait video has really taken off.
What about Reddit? Does it work on Reddit?
Yeah, does it work on Reddit? Because what I want to, you know what I love about Reddit? I love reading articles that paraphrase articles about what you might have typed that somebody else responded to. They're quite entertaining, quite entertaining.
Right.
Like a story digested 3 times.
Right.
That's super useful.
Well, yeah, I was telling you guys about my travels and about the Bitcoin conference. Went in for like 5 minutes and ended up linking up with one of the Cardone brothers, Gary Cardone, Grant Cardone's twin brother, who's like a strong Bitcoin advocate. He's worth $300 million. I think Funding Jim has onboarded him in some extent into Hex and PulseChain, although he doesn't speak about it publicly. But it's always good for him, to meet somebody in person, even if he is, selling himself as a Bitcoin maximalist. Those are the types of people that we like to have warmed up and kind of, those celebrities that are partially onboarded. If PulseChain, does a 100x or 1000x due to these new marketing efforts that have been alluded to, then those types of people could become huge advocates. So,
well, I think it's important to reach out to celebrities. I mean, they're lonely. They don't have a lot of exposure to a lot of other things, and they could really, really benefit from being part of our community. So, they should all have just a little bit of ink, just a little bit, at least, if not both. Well, they'll have to have both.
Well, shout out to Funding Jim for onboarding all these 100 millionaires into Hex and PulseChain, even if they're not identifying themselves yet publicly. I think that's something. It's a long-term play. Of course, that's how people in Hex and PulseChain do it. Is long-term vision and stuff. I can share my little video here, or just a screen so people can see what I was doing last week.
It's like a bottom signal.
Bottom signal. I like that.
No audio.
I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I didn't click the extra button, but if you want, to hear that content, then go on Twitter and hit the like button, and
At first, I was like, "Man, Cardone is so short," but then I realized you're really tall.
I'm not tall. I'm medium.
Well, you're with those cowboy boots, man. So you're like 3 feet tall.
You're slim. It makes you look taller.
Right.
And then you got the extra 6 inches. Everybody
feels 6 inches tall. 6 feet tall, rather.
Right, and bulletproof. Exactly. Hey, we got a super chat. Thanks to Crypto Orange for the $10 super chat. Please buy Crispy half of a nice cigar. Okay, YouTube. Yeah, make it happen.
Yeah. The not burned part. And Merry Christmas, Crypto Orange. Merry Christmas. Ho ho ho.
Did you guys catch any of the content from the Bitcoin conference online?
No. Why would I watch
Not
any
much.
of that?
We're waiting for you to tell us.
Yeah. I mean,
well,
you work for us. We just sit around.
Right. I dig it. So this is the first year out of the last 3 or 4 years that I didn't focus primarily on the main events at Bitcoin, and I went to a satellite conference, the World Digital Mining Summit, and ended up spending all these days capturing testimonials from people with the new job I'm working in crypto for Texit Coin. And that was an absolute marathon. I think we captured about 200 testimonials, and had a whole media team out there. And so, got to pay the bills without selling crypto one way or another. So, got out there and made it work.
Did you go with your partner?
So I went with my business partner, Olivia, and she's bigger than I am on Instagram and TikTok. Whereas, I've got a larger following on Twitter and YouTube. And so we're really kind of like a dream team when it comes to you know, getting content and, you know, basically able to scale stuff. I'm learning all these new things that I can bring home to Hex and PulseChain and be using throughout crypto. So yeah, like all the social capital and all of the social media stuff that we're building is, you know, I think it's a really good thing.
So she can bring you the short expertise for the shorts,
That's right.
right?
Yeah, big time.
I was just thinking the other day, you know, because I watch apparently these phones and stuff keep track of what you do. So I won't tell you about all the TikToks that show up, but I was mesmerized by an ad the other day. I'm like, you know, I know this is stupid, but if I just sat in a box full of puppies and just scrolled, because that, right, you can look at what's popular, what's really hitting in terms of the ads and whatnot. You can look that information up just like on YouTube. I'm like, I'll just do that. I'll just do TikToks with me sitting with a box full of puppies.
Do you have a box full of puppies already?
No, I get one for the day or something. You know?
Okay.
Or I just
like
just make
situation.
do a day.
Yeah.
But
you could go to SPCA and pick up a dozen puppies and then decide it didn't work out and take them back tomorrow.
I'll be like, I'm going to take you guys all home. No, I'm sorry. No. I actually couldn't do that because I probably end up bringing them all home, right?
So, yeah, a dozen puppies. Yeah.
Not that I already have 4 of them. Right? I don't need more. But yeah, I mean, just that concept of what does catch people's eyes, you know.
Yeah, one of the techniques that we've been observing is where there's kind of like an attention grabbing situation, and then it suddenly turns into like more of an advertisement, but a more organic version of it. So yeah, there's like all these interesting tricks that are being used nowadays in the attention economy. And yeah, like I know that for myself, I've always focused on, you know, doing the most on X and YouTube and Telegram. But now, yeah, it's like, it's time for the next challenge. It's time to keep all that up and then branch out to these other places. And, you know, another thing that I'm learning about in my new role is paid advertising, because Texit Coin is currently spending like $600,000 a week on marketing. So there's like billboard advertising and paid ads everywhere. And yeah, so like, you know, the world, it seems like now is in a unique position where advertising platforms, they're accepting USDC, they're willing to circumvent the banks. It's not, and they're willing to, like, you know, allow advertising. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, you weren't allowed to advertise on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram, even on X. You weren't allowed to.
It phased in and out, right? A little bit. I don't think it was a hard no all the time. It was just when the powers that be decided at different phases they couldn't do it, right?
Right.
No, because there was a time where you could see some of that. I'm curious about what you're talking about, you know, because thought about this today when you sent over the link and said, okay, we're going to talk about marketing. And you know, we have Richard's comments and what he puts out on X, right? And then we have our community, and then we've seen what's happened with us, and all of us, I think, not everybody, most of us naturally kind of go towards, hey, we need to have a group of people that do all this, right? And we need to focus our funds and da 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 da. And but that doesn't fit. That doesn't fit DeFi. It certainly doesn't fit PulseChain. And again, and I think waiting for there to be the foundation, the man, the group to do it is probably not gonna yield the results, right? That's kind of what a lot of people are doing today. And so what is available to us, and how would we go do this? And I'm not picking on Ash, but like Ash said something right here in the chat where he said, hey, how about marketing fund where we donate crypto? It's another thing. No more donation type stuff, right? So like, you know, how do we do that? How do we actually do it? What are your thoughts on that? How do we market on PulseChain? Any new ideas?
Well, so I think that to a large extent, there's different advice for different audiences, for different segments of the community. So if you're a whale, maybe you're teaming up with Rackham. Maybe you're hiring your own marketing specialist. Maybe you're,
Well, whales, there are not that many of us, right?
I mean, but the scale of a whale is like, okay, God Whale, Rackham, Conrad Zen, like, all these people who have hundreds of millions of dollars. I could probably keep going down the list, but yeah, like there's plenty currently of people who have lots of money, and the advice to them is going to be different, right, than somebody who's just got $1,000 in or $10,000 in PulseChain and Hex. And so for the people who don't have so much money they don't know what to do with, my advice to them is to say, well, start thinking about it as, who do you want to bring into something that can do 1,000x and change the game in crypto? Like, what are you good at in terms of communicating? Like, some people, they want to bring in, different target groups. Like for me, if I'm meeting people and I think they're cool and like we're doing some sort of business interaction, like, yeah, I'm going to give them a cold storage coin with some crypto on it. I've been doing that for years. And, maybe I put $10, $20, $100 on there and let them take it from there. Other people, they want to, like Toby One Hexobi is a great example. He's going out there getting stem cell treatment and getting his teeth worked on and like, getting a longevity health checkup. And he's onboarding all those professionals into PulseChain by holding their hand, getting them to put $1,000 in, this and that, or more. And so different people have different strengths. Look at Hexologist. What does he do? He ratios people who are huge accounts. And that creates this massive awareness of Hex and PulseChain being probably the #1 community on X, maybe second to Bitcoin, maybe not.
What does ratio mean in this context?
It means that when you reply to somebody's post on X, you get more likes than their post does.
Oh, okay.
That's what being ratioed means. And it's a huge flex because it's hard to do. And especially if it's an account that's bigger than you would expect them to have more support than somebody with a smaller account. So
I'm going to start doing that now for sure.
So I would say, just from what you're saying, almost none of that matches anything that I'm able to do, or I think I would be good at doing. Maybe some of them I would be doing. Okay. So
you're
I think
a pillar of the streaming community. You provide an essential function.
Yes. No. Yes. Yes. But I do provide an essential function, sure. But in that mode with my Hex hat on, right? Eventually somebody may find me that's new, but you're not going to see. I'm not going to get in front of new eyeballs, right? And so if I take it very seriously that I'm supposed to go out, I don't want to make it sound negative at all. I don't mean it negatively, but if I'm going to take it seriously that I'm going to go out and promote and try to bring people to the chain, it's probably more of I recognize there's many different things that could be done, and not take it away from any of the ideas you threw out there. But what about the common, lowest common denominator of us out there, And what do we have available to us? And how could we make an impact? And not a cash impact necessarily. Like everybody's got to spend money. Like, how do we do that? Because we've seen lots of great ideas that have come up.
I'm going to send him the link just in case he wants to hop on, because he's like one of the most critical and important voices in Hex and PulseChain. And I love his posts. And so I'm going to send him a DM on Twitter to see if he wants to jump on.
That's it. I'm out. No.
I'll stay for the fight.
Well, let me see if I finish this thought. So we, anyways, I'm thinking I'm kind of like this. We're just throwing stuff against the wall, just brainstorming, ideas. Here's a cool idea. Limited centralization. Every one of us has got a goddamn phone, right? Go do a TikTok. Do a short. If you're on YouTube, you probably have an account. Upload it. Link to Maddie's show. Link to whoever you like. Put a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Press the share button.
Why couldn't we? Because we're really good. We're really good. The community's really good about seeing somebody's post and go type a bunch of stuff. We see that all the time. But why not? Why not something like that? Well, we all go out there and we f up the algorithms by dropping PulseChain. Man, everybody's doing. You get 1,000 PulseChain TikToks pop today. Shorts pop. I mean, there's a lot of different ideas, a lot of creative people. They do a lot of stuff, but I think a lot of people don't pull the trigger and actually publish, though.
Yeah, only about, I think, 10% of people are like creating content at most, and then 90% are consuming. And that's true also for like even content creators are like consuming a large amount of content, and then like 90% of their time is spent consuming.
Yeah, and I just think that's just something that it doesn't have to be that. I mean, I guess we could all just go print postcards. I mean,
T-shirts.
I did a round one time where I printed 200 road signs. The signs that have the metal frames. So I printed 200 hex road signs and put them up all over the county here, and just went around replenished them when I could. Of course, they all got thrown out. They got thrown out, right? And I guess it's okay because we don't have 40%. We don't have 40% APR anymore, but 38% APR. But it was that that sign. But I mean, there's a lot of things people could do. I mean, we see the sticker stuff. I don't know. There's probably some in between low level kind of community effort that doesn't require necessarily to run a sacrifice for a couple $100,000, right? And it could be multiple ideas. In fact, it doesn't even have to be community wide, right? It just the idea of getting that information out to more people.
I did an interview today with the guy from PulseChain'sstore.com. They've given away 10,000 PulseChain t-shirts.
Yeah, the 10,000 PulseChain people, right?
Yeah, probably. But if those people wear those t-shirts, like it's going to spread something. It'll start some conversations, and they're basically looking for whales to sponsor the next 10,000 t-shirts. I think it's a better idea than postcards.
Yeah.
And they have nice t-shirts, and it's not just PulseChain. It's like various logos, community things. Internet Money, Inc., PulseX, like they're all like all the big names are kind of there, or a lot of them anyway. It's pretty cool.
The only problem with like merch stores is now you're in a database of having your home address with somebody and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but like you buy a t-shirt online, it's getting shipped to your house. You don't have to use your real name. Right, and if you're really paranoid, you can ship it to your stepmom's house. Right, like
I don't even use my real credit card.
Like I'm not scared. I'd use Fast Abdoul and shit. Like that would be fine. But I think you could ship it to Bob Nobody and you could send it as a pickup address somewhere that wasn't yours. Like it's
okay. That's good advice.
And they don't necessarily know, like it's if you go by your real name on the screen and then you ship to your real name, like I could see the issue. But like if it's a name going to an address, somebody bought a $20 t-shirt and there's no reason for them to associate you with a particular account that has millions of dollars in PulseChain in it.
Wait, you've got millions of dollars in PulseChain?
I didn't say that. You might have millions of dollars in PulseChain.
There was a time when somewhere in 21 where I felt like that, but I don't feel that way anymore. That's for sure. How about this? Somebody said something in the chat. They were kind of tongue in cheek. How about those green candles? I forget who said I was looking for it, but yeah, I know it's problematic even to organize a green candle day. Maybe it's a volume day where everybody goes and buys X token to help move it along and show it off a little bit, because we're seeing like rock bottom volumes, right?
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but I feel like that would get preyed on by someone.
Oh, of course, right? There's always somebody who's going to do that.
However, they're going to front run it. They're going to buy it before. They're kind of playing the same. They're kind of playing
Yeah,
into
I mean,
goal regardless. Yeah.
Again, just throwing ideas out there about it.
Mhm.
I mean, I bet you if all of us just bought one of the tokens and didn't sell it, all of us, it'd go up.
I bet you it would. I think that's how it works.
God damn, the liquidity is set up as such that it doesn't take much to see a green candle, man.
Nope.
No, it's pretty obvious all of us are not buying, right? I mean, it's very obvious. I mean, thank you to
$100 a day would moon a lot of charts on PulseChain.
Oh, God damn. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I know that because of the experiments and the things I've been doing with buying tokens. So yeah, I can see the marks on the chart from it.
Hey, shout out to Pesky Girl for being a subscriber to the channel. Thanks for your support.
Oh, Pesky. That's very nice, Pesky.
Indeed. Good to see you, Pesky.
Welcome, Pesky.
Okay, so let's take a look at this tweet. Richard Hart. PulseChain. I keep telling you that you already have what you need. It's already far better than it needs to be. It only needs marketing, and not limp D, weak, a little here, a little there marketing. Legendary, massive, never done before marketing. I speak confidently because I know exactly what such awesome marketing would look like.
Do tell.
I'd tag my Money Skelly, he's talking about Vitalik, and his squad to pleb beg for them to increase their marketing budgets, since they published some data on how they want to use their ETH treasury, and I ain't seeing no marketing in it, LOL. But like, as I've already said, competition in a marketing channel reduces response. So like, why invite the competition? Yeah, I'd like Ethereum to go up, but I'd like PulseChain to go up even more. Imagine this. Ads appear. People that have never heard of amazing peer-to-peer free and open source software do. They see the opportunity. Users increase. Haters get mad. How dare someone advertise free, open source, reliable software to them? They post their butt hurt, amplifying reach. Users increase. Even the haters already in crypto think this thing might really run. There's so much potential. Many rotate in. Green candles beget green candles. The government money printer starts. I like the vision. The slingshot of suppression being released violently upwards. More and more butthurt from the sidelined. More and more interest, because the majority of the world isn't on crypto Twitter. They're in the real physical world, waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the education. And I have this real good feeling that they'll learn, probably in under 2 months. We'll see. I'm curious to see how real massive marketing performs. As always, it is not I, but you, the community, that does all these nice things. I'm just glad a few of you decided to get it done. Onward and upward.
Yeah. And for whoever's doing whatever, thank you. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Indeed. Yeah, I think there's a lot of mixed messages in all this thing that I take very personally. I think a lot of the people take it personally. It's kind of like when you're like getting dragged through the gravel from the back of a truck, and Richard's putting out a post or a video talking about cell pressure. you're like, well, it's not coming from me, but you're indicted, depending how you interpret it, you're indicted, right? So I read some of the stuff in this. So first off, I see him talking about a whole bunch of different things, right? And some things that are already in play and some things that are baked in, right? Like what's obviously going to happen with the cycle, we think, right? But at the same time, he's also saying meaningful stuff, right? And so a lot of people have tried what they thought was meaningful with no direction because it's a decentralized thing and have gotten pretty slammed for it, right? So, I mean, how do we encourage anybody to do anything? Because like, well, I'm not saying it's useless. I'm just recognizing a lot of people are like, this is useless. It's a waste of time, right? Because it's just not something we can do. And how do we counter that, right? Because I know that's not true. And of course, the biggest problem with marketing is it's very hard to measure, other than green candles.
I think first you have to be able to interpret what the tweet means, and then you can make like judgments about it. But I think a lot of people are just, interpreting it with negativity, or like not playing the game of reading between the lines in a positive way. And yeah, I think that there is like a negative history of like marketing being shit on, but I view this as, incredibly positive, and like something, if we're shitting on, the massive marketing that the world has never seen before, then, that's
in probably under
helpful.
2 months, there's even a date given of sorts. I'm
Right.
wondering if, Richard has heard of somebody who's planning on doing this and is sharing the word early.
Well, the Super Bowl is not till next year.
I'm getting massive deja vu right now, but I know we've had this discussion before.
Yeah, Maddie. I'm just trying to relate to it the way I think me as the common man relates to some of this stuff. I'm like, as bullish as I am. I mean, I just told you, I put up 200 signs, I can bet you I can find a lot of people be like, oh, that was probably a worthless effort. Maybe somebody saw that stuff, but
I think then it was a learning thing, and it was effort spent. But it was, so you're saying that maybe that didn't have enough impact.
We have no way of knowing. We have no way of knowing if it had any impact at all. Well, let's go back to your plan, right? What you're talking about. So you interpret this for everybody. Tell us what this is. And then I'm talking about concepts. I'm not saying right, wrong, good, bad. I'm just saying conceptually, how do we motivate people? And I guess now that's not conceptual, but how do we motivate people to go do something? I mean, assuming we even want to motivate anybody to do anything, right? But
okay, so how long ago was it that Richard put out a tweet saying like, oh, somebody should, set up some foundations and stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Yeah. Foundation about,
so has one been set up that he set up that we don't know about?
Well, he didn't say he was setting it up.
But did one get set up that we don't know about? Is that what you're inferring from this?
Well, I'm reading the bottom of this tweet, and it says, I'm just glad a few of you decided to get it done.
And I think he's talking about centralized marketing, like real paid marketing. He's not talking about postcards.
So the massive marketing that people have decided to get done and will, that we'll learn about in under 2 months. Yeah, that sounds like something that people are volunteering for, and maybe is happening, in a decentralized, behind the scenes type of way. But I'm just glad a few of you decided to get it done. Few of you decided to get it done. This massive marketing thing. Cool. So what do the rest of us need to do then? I don't know. Maybe stop being negative and act like a community, and put on an awesome PulseChainConference.com in the next month and that kind of stuff. But I think in some ways, if RH is saying pretty clearly in this tweet that like there's a massive, never before seen marketing event that is underway or that is getting ready to launch, then like, yeah, like the rest of us have the opportunity to like get in place to be here when the world finds out about us, and to like, you know, not be fighting with each other, and to like get our loved ones onboarded into PulseChain, and like, you know, be the type of community that we'd be proud, you know, to introduce the world to. It's, you know, it's been a lot of us trying to do like organic marketing, but at the end of the day, like we are the organic community more than anything else in crypto, I'd say. And, you know, that comes with its challenges, but for years now, we've all gotten together to do streams like this, gotten together to do conferences, not only mine, but many others. And, you know, a lot of us have learned how to become YouTubers. That's something that, you know, it's like people will show up, but then what kind of culture will they enter into? And is it going to be a culture like that's bad like Bitcoin? Is Richard going to be at the center of the culture, or is he going to be like, you know, kind of, I don't know. Like, I don't know the answers to all these questions, but it's like when I read this tweet that came out 2 days ago, you know, it gets me excited to think like, all right, what is the next phase of PulseChain?
I don't think he's asking us to do anything here. All right. Like not the average user at the very least. It sounds like it's already done. It's already in the works. He's letting you know something's coming. Right.
Yeah, Zach,
right.
all in, baby. Go all in. That's what I'm saying.
And so, yeah, like like, you know, Richard is always like very truthful and like literal, and sometimes you have to read between the lines. But I mean, when he says he's doing something, he's doing something. When he says other people are doing something, they're doing it. And yeah, so I just see this as like probably the most important tweet that's come out about PulseChain like ever. Like everything's in place, everything's been built. There's a massive, never before seen, legendary, massive, never done before marketing campaign.
You can go to the Wayback Machine. You can see where I used to post Richard Hart tweets and interpret them before AI. Yeah, I used to put up in the Telegram, and just reading between the lines. So I get you. I understand what you're saying. I mean, essentially, so I don't read this necessarily as any call of action, except it makes me feel shitty reading it. But besides that, I don't see it as being any call to action for me to do anything other than hold my tokens or get more.
I mean, you also built like the most important, like, you know, data analysis tool for Hex in the history of Hex. So like,
everybody knows that, but I'm not speaking with that hat on. I'm thinking about it as I'm a holder. I'm on this chain. I'm reading this. What's going on? He knows exactly what the best thing to do is. Somebody else is already doing it. They're going to be giant green candles that are going to hurt everybody's butt who got out of their tokens. And the best thing I can do is just hold on.
Cool.
Yeah,
that sounds like good news, huh?
It's good.
I mean, that's my synopsis of it, you know, because I'm like, yeah. Anyways, I try to be super positive about things most of the time, but I mean, I also realize a lot of people trying to react to this stuff, you know, and like, right? Because
what are other people saying?
Well, because what I just said, right, is basically I'm going to be complacent and do no more, no extra, right? Instead of trying to be invigorating and do more extra, right? I'll probably still do more extra, but anyways, I'm just I'm probably talking out of my hole. Yeah.
What does Dipcatcher have to say about all this?
He's being smart. He's being smart.
He's on the negative team lately.
Give me 650 million cash, who share 70 million of liquidity across 2 billion user cap, who must do the advertising. That's not how I'm interpreting this one. I look, I'm probably the biggest fan of Dipcatcher. But
Dipcatcher.
I like all of his tweets and I learn a lot from him.
I love his name.
And his sarcasm and his analysis is really good. His criticism is important, but in this particular tweet, I think we're finally, getting it spelled out as clear as day. So,
yeah. Well, it's yeah. So so in the marketing subject, it's really already done. We're just reporting on what's happened.
Yeah, this hack funds have already bought PulseChain and Hex.
All right, good show.
Like whether it occurs again or not, is like, okay, well, we've already seen a track record of good stuff happening. Maybe it's just not happening on like the time frame that people want, and maybe it's the broader market that's holding stuff back. Maybe we're about to go on an incredible bull run with all this money printing that could be coming in the future, and maybe we'll look back and be like, oh yeah, the timing of everything, it was just right. Wow, no surprise that Richard Hart got the timing of everything right. But then you could say something about like buying the top of ETH, and that gets into a debate about like whether there was a problem with USDC at the time, or sorry, with DAI, and different stuff like that. But Super Hex Win is somebody that I had a water with out in Vegas.
Is that code?
No, we just sat down. I don't know if, we were just drinking water, but it was like a morning thing. He came by. I was hanging out with Pascal, and Pascal left, and Super Hex was there, and we had a great chat. We had a great catch up. I hadn't seen him in quite some time, and he does an amazing job of marketing, and he rocks. And we're super grateful to have him as an active member of the community.
Super Hex. Whoop. Well, I am ready to win.
Are you? Are you ready?
I am.
Can you wait another 2 months?
I can wait another 40 years.
I would be impressed if 40 years was on the table, but yeah, take it.
Yeah, I can do it. Hey, listen, Hex has 15-year cycles, so man, I'd like to see 3 of them out. Maybe, I don't know. It'd be pretty cool.
Respect.
We're in our second trimester right now.
Did you guys see that other post that RH did about running a call center?
Did you say?
Yes.
That was interesting. I was trying to fathom where he was going with that, and I failed.
Perhaps you can. Did Richard talk about that? RH?
Yeah, Richard Hart.
Well, that would see that would be off. That would be off the hook, right?
I got it right here. Yeah. Well, come on. I mean, okay. He already said never before, greatest ever, legendary, right? But yeah, I guess here's the latest.
He asked a good question with this.
Which like, oh, by the way, I was like mad at the community for a while too, so I can totally relate to.
I missed this one. I didn't even read
the negativity. But hey, geniuses, how might one set up inbound call handling for educational P2P peer-to-peer software call center? How do you keep reps from stealing DA keys? Do you just have nice people log in remotely into an asterisk VoIP server? How do you check who went from nice to naughty? AI review call logs, question mark.
Oh, yeah.
Is AI voice ready to handle this kind of load? At least it won't try to scam people for their keys. Anyone actually doing AI customers service at scale? This is a problem every exchange faces. Any of them solve it? Worth a crap? Question mark.
Yeah, I like this topic. This is a good topic. I do know there's a few people in our organization that have or our community, not organization, because we don't have one. But there are some people that work in this area for sure. I like this a lot. You know what's good about the AI scripted portion of something like this is that you can put fully audited information into
Really?
the AI. Yeah, because it's information that you can audit, right? You have a data set of possible responses and information. And then for the portion that might go off, because sometimes you have this rep thing. If you really were going to go off to a rep, then that becomes a bonded KYC. In my mind anyways, right? Like if I was going to put an organization together that was going to hire people, because people have to get paid. It's not a volunteer thing, right? In this case, I don't think anyways. They're going to get paid. I wonder who they are, right? And just like any other call center, I wonder who they are. Everything's going to be taped, probably going to be recorded. It's going to be recorded anyways. You might as well have a copy of it. You know, and you know, the people that are working there will be bonded in KYC.
Yeah, no, I think you'd have to have them be bonded and KYC. The question is still, you'd want to select the people. And I think his best bet, if he's going with humans and not AI, which is obviously has some advantages, is to draw from the community, like known people, at least early on. Like think of how many volunteers he would get from the community. And then you could choose to pay your volunteers to participate in something like this if the focus was PulseChain. And you could have, basically vetted people who were known, recommended by others, do it by recommendation. Start with one person that you trust 100%, and then they recommend the next batch, and so on and so forth until you have a full roster of people.
Mm. Yeah, I don't think we'd roast them. But,
yeah, the answer is AI and having it audited and everything, and but I would love to see like the actual geniuses like Dip Catcher and Johnny Chaos and other people who are watching to like actually because Dip Catcher will actually like spit some technical knowledge, and if he actually made a post where he's detailing what the state of the art is and other people are weighing in on it, I think that's what would make it happen. So RH is asking for feedback. This is like when PulseChain was developed and he asked for feedback. When Hex was being developed, he asked for feedback. Now's our opportunity. So like Sami, like making a joke out of it and roasting the idea, like that is not, what the history of this community is, with like actually getting to help make history in crypto, to weigh in on these design decisions. So I'd strongly encourage, people who have a voice and people who have expertise to weigh in, to, put this post out there more. I'm going to retweet it. It's only got 40K views. I'm still hoping to find a way to get Richard one of these badges to double his reach. But yeah, like having AI to run a call center in crypto, like to field all of the questions that are coming in from like, millions of people discovering crypto through a never before seen marketing campaign. Like that sounds really innovative. It sounds like, what this next phase might be looking like. And so again, like we're on the cutting edge. And I think, the people now, like, are you going to take it seriously, or are you going to make fun of it?
If there was a fully functional answer any crypto question AI phone number you could call, that would be pretty cool. It would feel very cutting edge.
I mean, they have like, I see some of this stuff like getting advertised on Twitter. Like I follow tech people on Twitter that are talking about some of this stuff. So I know that the technology is probably close or there to the point where, maybe it can be deployed by, some of these individuals that RH is saying are already getting it done, right? But again, like this is him saying, be the think tank, contribute the ideas. We know that Dev Kyle contributed to Hex. We know that 75 people contributed game theory to PulseChain. Like, now's your chance. This was posted yesterday. So like, that's pretty cool. It's pretty decentralized. And if you have the expertise, then yeah, like,
I used to run call centers in my youth, but they don't look the same anymore, I suspect.
Right. Well, this is all very exciting, and yeah, I think the community, those of us who are left that really believe in it, we should take it seriously and be grateful and be positive and expect great things.
Paul's grandpa says that people want to talk to a real live person, but I guess that has limitations because you'd actually need experts on the line to counsel people on what buttons to press, right? So you'd have to have qualified people
that don't steal your keys.
They don't steal your keys. Yeah.
Get into the problem that you're just like any other exchange that is going to have a bunch of problems. Yeah, like what if somebody calls in who's like, who's like setting you up, and they like, they've gotten their friend hired into the call center, and then, I have $1 million. I got my friend hired into it. I transfer the $1 million to them. So I still have the $1 million, but now I get to, sue the foundation or something for $1 million. That's, that's the problem. So.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Read my idea about the call.
Oh, here it is. I dropped it in the private chat.
Let's go.
Whoop.
Oh yeah, I already liked this tweet, but let me look at it more closely. Actually, Dibcatcher says follow him at Tanto Nomini on X. I actually love the idea of the call center for answering questions about crypto. Obvious training and security challenges to solve, but actually a big business opportunity. Free AI call, $10 simple and $100 advanced tier. I would work the phone lines. Would you? If yes, apply here. Richard Hart Museum Educational Call Center job application. Will you love our Richard Hart no matter what? Will you sacrifice your freedom of speech? Do you believe Richard Hart is the best and greatest man who's ever lived? Have you ever been critical of anything Richard Hart has done? Are you willing to live only in places with low sonic coverage? Do you own at least 10 t-shirts featuring Richard Hart? Will you be fierce and combat the haters? Yeah, I mean, like, so this is the problem with like everybody being hateful of the true leaders in crypto is we get bitter and resentful and sarcastic and like stop wanting to volunteer and help. And so whereas I am completely confident that Dibcatcher like has the genius level skills to be able to contribute significantly in this case. Even myself, I've become somewhat cynical of the PulseChain community and considered like not helping anymore. Although I've like gotten over that myself personally. Like when everybody is just hating on each other, then this is what we get is our best and brightest aren't willing to pitch in when it counts. So
I think there is some wisdom within Dibcatcher's cynicism, like the free AI, $10 simple call, $100 advanced tier. I don't think that's necessarily a joke. Or maybe it is, but like AI is free. You want to talk to a person about something simple, it's $10. You want an advanced, 30 minutes talking to an expert, it's $100. And obviously AI is going to take up the majority of the burden, right?
Yeah, but then how do you solve the issue of the people stealing the keys?
You don't
And the
need
risk of
nearly
it.
as many people for $100 each as you would for the AI, right?
If you're onboarding millions of people, yeah, you need something that scales. And
well, the AI scales. That's the thing. And if you want to talk to a person, like maybe it's like, oh, I want a 30-minute meeting with one of the approved, like doxed KYC reps in a recorded call. That's $100, and there might be a 3-day waiting list, right? But like the AI will answer your call 24 hours a day and help you to the best of its ability, right? But like to be able to take it to another level. There we go.
yeah,
It was not a joke.
well, but I think what Dibcatcher is saying is that it's $10 to upgrade to a better AI and $100 to update to have like an even more advanced AI, and that it's not involving people. Maybe he can correct me on that.
Yeah,
when
he
you
doesn't
call
specify whether there's people or not.
the phone, oh yeah, I've seen this before. When you call, the phone says, "Do not reveal private info to the person on the call. Do not talk to anyone on another phone number." I don't think that solves it as much as RH is looking for. I think he's actually looking for like, what is the cutting edge technology? Remember when we had to pick a bridge? Am I the only one that remembers when we had to pick a bridge software for PulseChain, and it was like, oh, here's a list of 100 bridge technology softwares, and here's why Omni Protocol is the best. Okay, cool. We got Omni Protocol. All right, so like, what's the equivalent here? Yeah, so
Dibcatcher has confirmed the value worth paying for. It's for the person on the phone. The right person, the right group of people, a very small group of people. Like even if you had millions of calls, like it could be a very limited number of people that would actually take a call, and only
Hexacoin is doing that. It doesn't scale. We like it's
tell us.
It's a nightmare.
What are they doing? How's it work?
So basically there's this like referral system that like is highly lucrative, and so people oftentimes are already explained what it is, but then the office has to like confirm whether the payment has been made in USDC, either from like the person, the onboarder, like the money has to make it to the office, and then in this case, like a physical cold storage coin is like mailed out to the person. They're marked in the system as like being eligible to like now refer other people. And even that level of like a call center is, struggling to keep up with 150 people a day with, a team of 5 or 10. And so, yeah, like it quickly becomes a problem if you're onboarding, thousands and thousands of people.
I'm with you in concept, and I remember my days running a call center in my youth. And when I say youth, I mean youth, like 19. But like, and at the time, call centers were all the craze. But like, it very much depends on the person answering the phone. Like how many phone calls, and I'm not volunteering you, Crispy, but how many phone calls do you think Crispy could field in a day with the correct information, right? Should he so choose, right? Versus somebody getting paid minimum wage who's not engaged. Like there's a community here of engaged people who are pretty DeFi smart. You get the best 100 of them and you pay them. You could move big numbers.
Not enough.
It's bet who's paying the $100, right? Like, and there could be $100, there could be a $500 tier, right? Like, like it's, who's paying that? It's people who are moving in big money. Like nobody's paying $100 to move $50 on chain. Like they're paying 100 to move thousands. They're paying 500 to move $500,000, right?
That's falling back into what already exists. Richard, I think, is asking, what is the cutting edge? And, us kind of like just, brainstorming isn't like, we're not the experts. And so that's why my call to action was like, hey, if you're an expert, if you're technically oriented, if you, are deep in technology, like that's who needs to be, getting the info to RH on his subtweet or however he's getting his information, to figure out, like we did with the Omni Bridge, like, what are the 100 technologies that are out there, and then which one is the best, and that has to be something that scales and is probably like AI heavy. It doesn't mean that somebody can't. It doesn't mean that like a group of like PulseChain people can't like start their own service like Trezor has to like offer crypto advice and like market that, or maybe you get featured on the PulseChain website if you do something like that. Doesn't mean that it can't exist, but in terms of like what would be, I don't know, like
is the AI even there? Which is something I'm very much not an expert on. Like, does AI have the capacity to answer all the questions, right?
Well, you give it a knowledge set, and then you tell it what it can't say, and then you're good to go. And then it has like these logic loops where it's like, if it can't answer your question, it tells you it can't, and that kind of thing. Like, I mean, I use like Super Grok voice all the time, and it's incredible. It's more helpful than talking to an expert in some cases.
Oh, for sure.
So
agree with that.
But this has been I think this has been a really good episode of kind of discussing what the future might look like in PulseChain and looking ahead and debating everything. We've hit the 1 hour mark. Do you guys have any final comments before we sign off? Oh, thanks to Pesky Girl for the $2 sticker.
Score.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, Crypto Orange sent you more money. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and also thanks for the $20 super chat from Crypto Orange, and that was intending to get Crispy an even bigger partial cigar, or a proper cigar. I mean,
hey, is Pesky Girl really a AI?
I don't believe she is. I'm familiar with her. She's one of the internet money Telegram room admins. She seems like a real person.
I assume. Yeah, I knew that. I thought.
Johnny nailed it. He said, sounds like someone is considering leveraging AI to create a one-of-a-kind service no other crypto offers, along with the hype of powered by AI.
Yeah, it's a very cool idea.
I think it would be cool if it didn't just talk about PulseChain. If you could ask it anything about crypto.
Go Pesky.
That would be massive numbers.
Interesting.
But obviously, it would have a wealth of data on PulseChain and immutable protocols and that sort of thing. But like, imagine the number of calls you could get if it was like, it could have multiple phone numbers, one of them being 1-800-Bitcoin, and it could tell you all about Bitcoin, and then it could tell you about Hex Bitcoin, and then it could tell you about bridging your Bitcoin to PulseChain. But like, if it could just answer crypto questions, and you could just keep building that database, you could make it huge.
Those are great ideas.
I'm here for the tech.
And then it can record your phone number and call you back and be like, I know you asked about Bitcoin last week, but have you heard about
that'd be
our
awesome.
Lord and Savior PulseChain?
That'd be awesome.
I think that maybe a no callback rule would probably be popular.
Right. Yeah, there's lots about that, but
it could like, if it was all 100% AI, like it could literally, it could be completely anonymous all the time. It could be very substantial. Then there could be a Telegram component. There could be a Twitter component, right? Like, you could be chatting with it live on Twitter. You could be chatting with it live on Telegram. Ask any question you want. Everybody can see if you do it on Twitter. Do you want to do it anyway? It's your choice. Think of the advertising value of that.
It's built into your electronic bidet that talks to you.
There we go.
Speaks only about crypto.
That would require Dipcatcher's $100 premium upgrade.
Well, that sounds great. Where can people find you guys the rest of this week?
Well, you can find me at Hexfire.io. And you asked about final comments as I'm leaving. If anybody wants to go see what a stable token looks like, go check out Johnny Chaos's tweets. He's got an experiment.
Surgical
he's
trainer
been running.
token.
Yeah, he's got an experiment that he's been running that's been pretty cool. And
yeah, I bought a couple $100 of it, but I might have accidentally sold it. So I should have kept at least $1 because
I sold it for good die.
Right.
Good P die. Yeah, so check that out. That's been an interesting experiment to see something that doesn't go below $1.
Right.
And then
$1.03.
Yeah, in the hex world, one of the things that's taken off, besides I haven't heard much more about Dipcatcher, what he's doing, but actuator protocol is out there. That's something that I've featured 3 or 4 times over the last month. And for those HSI holders out there, it might be something for you to take a look at.
I actually invested, I don't know if I should say heavily, but I invested much more than I normally do in something into Dipcatchers. It's like a L1 hex thing, e-hex. So yeah, it's cool that he's been watching this stream because like a great founder there and somebody who's doing a lot for hex still, even with all the negativity that gets thrown his way. So I want to say another kind word about Dipcatcher. Thank you. Fast?
You can find me at Fast Abdoul, as displayed on the screen here, on Twitter and on various YouTube channels throughout the week. I'm going to have new, interesting, exciting things coming out soon. More on that later.
Oh, cool.
I don't give a P-Hux. I'm interested in hearing about what you're going to come out with. I want to hear. I got
some stuff. I got plans within plans.
I'm frustrated that I always hear about stuff after it hits the market, but that's okay. Gives me deniability.
Well,
comment.
You heard it here. Maybe not first, but
second.
Marketing is about to be massive for Hex and PulseChain, and this is incredible news. So get positioned and get ready for what's to come next in the next chapter, the next sequel of PulseChain. So there you go. Until next time, I'm Matty Allen, and stake wisely, my friends, and peace out. Do we have outro music?
I'm stuck on the screen.
We have, 700 watching now, it says. You here and there on different platforms. A lot of Twitter impressions. Right?
Electrolytes is what PulseChain craves.